All right, Sadie, here's an owl. Classic. All right, so welcome to our Thursday group calls. I hope everyone is doing well. Charlie and Sadie are running in the backyard, so don't mind them. They'll calm down in a couple minutes. But as always, group calls are recorded. So any questions that come up or stuff that you say or another person says that you don't want to go on YouTube later, just let me know and hey, chill out. And we'll tackle that for both of you guys. Just send me a message and all good. So other than that, just gonna add a few more people. We'll get to questions in a second. Big thing this week that a lot of people are asking about. Breakups is a big thing. Obviously, it's the tail end of spring, so people are getting ready for summer. Unfortunately, a little bit of spring cleaning. Also, attachment styles have been really big this week. Christina and I just chatted about that. That's totally cool, super fun. But any questions that you guys have, anything that you want to share, just put into the main chat and then we can chat about that. But yeah, if anything gets mentioned and you don't want it to get posted, just send me a quick note on WhatsApp or here on chat. But why don't we go around the horn and introduce ourselves? Obviously, you guys know me, but let's go Val, Leslie, Christina. Then we'll go Lynn, and then Maria, and then Emil, my friend. Val, why don't you just give a quick intro about yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Valeria and I am based out of Atlanta. I am an artist and soon to be art teacher and happy to meet you all or see you all again.
Nice. You, Leslie.
Hi everyone, I'm Leslie. I'm a women's health and fitness coach, and it's nice to see everyone again. There's new faces here too, so
Nice. Tina.
Hey everybody, I'm Christina. Hi Vale. Hi Leslie. Good to see you guys. I am now Reiki certified and a human design coach. So
Hell yeah, you are.
hell yeah.
Linz, why don't you go for it?
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I just recently moved to San Francisco and I currently today am working on like rebranding my business. It was called like LB Wellbeing. It kind of is I'm still honestly learning what I want to do, but I feel like it's more somatic work and kind of just connecting like the mind, with being in the body. So, yeah.
Okay. Nice. Miranda, why don't you introduce yourself? If you're not driving or anything.
Yeah, hi, I'm Miranda. I'm from California and I'm still kind of figuring out my path. I'm just working in food right now, but yeah, I'm happy to learn and grow from everyone here.
Awesome. And Emil, my friend, why don't you give a quick shout out?
Hey all, this is Amilcar Amil. Call by Cam like that. I'm currently in the business of outsourcing. Currently working for a lot of US companies and clients. Finding my path, already found my path years ago, but happy to share any insights about my journey with you all.
Nice. Okay. Sick. So as normal group calls, I don't want to talk a lot. So I'm probably going to pick on you guys, or if I know somebody submits a question, that's the whole point. I want you guys to RSVP to these so you can submit questions. If you RSVP ahead of time, you should be able to submit your questions. I will, as often as I can, post the link last minute in the Discord. So check the Discord. We'll usually do Thursdays. But if you RSVP, that way I know how many people are doing it. If nobody RSVPs, I'm just not going to have the group call. So that's super important. Also, the back end of the website, make sure you can log in. I just changed a few things, but the back end of the website, that's where you can book your one-on-ones, like for members. As long as you've done 12 sessions or I've given you a login to the back end, it's free. You can register for free. It says $500, but if you don't have one or you haven't created that account, I'm sending weekly emails just to members about some things that I do. I used to send that to my whole email list, but I want that to just be members. So I'll send like a weekly update about that. But you can book a 1 hour session. It's going to be $60 for members going forward. That's it. And then if you want 30 minutes, it's $30. So after you guys do enough sessions and you want to come back or just do stuff ad hoc or do a check-in, just use that or just continue to hop on the group calls. It'll always be free for you guys. So let's hop into questions. All right. First one that I got for tonight is if you have several different modalities, meaning social media channels, how do you incorporate them online for your business? Seems like each platform wants you to have a niche, and I'm not sure how to share all of my gifts to fit the algorithms. Does anyone want to take a stab at this one? Linz, I'm gonna call out on you because I've seen you post a lot of good videos in the past and lately. But how do you differentiate between putting stuff on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, Facebook? What do you think? You're on mute.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. What you got,
Okay.
Linz? Oh, sorry, Lindsay. Lindsay, go ahead because I've
Okay.
seen you post really good videos.
Thank you. I honestly feel like I'm just starting out. I feel like it's kind of particular to everyone's vibe. I feel like everyone has their own unique vibe. And I feel like in order to find out what it is, you just have to keep posting and then you kind of are seeing what is the majority of your posting, what is it like relating to, kind of, if that makes sense. But for me personally, right now I'm trying to clean up my Instagram for my business. I feel like it's too, because I totally stopped posting on my personal Instagram, so I only made this new like business kind of personal Instagram. So now I'm creating a whole new just personal Instagram, which is only going to be, on private with like people that are like currently in my life. Because I don't want like my old personal Instagram from high school, half of those people I don't even talk to or more than that. So that I'm creating. So then right now I'm kind of making my business one just more professional because there are like some parts of it and parts of my highlights that are like immature. So right now I'm just like cleaning up my accounts because I feel like it can add a lot of overwhelm when I feel like I have a lot of videos that are like unedited that I need to post, but then I wait and then I feel like I don't resonate with them. So I feel like the day you take your video, just post it, and then over time you'll kind of see how your vibe is. Long answer, but yeah.
Agreed. Leslie, you've been posting on social media for about a year, a little over a year. What's your take?
Keep doing it. Post the day of. I've done the same thing where I've made a video and then I'll try to post it later. And it's like you're a little bit more critical of yourself. And sometimes that place that you were when you made that video is a little bit different, even like a few days later. So definitely post as early as you can. But I'm kind of modifying my business TikTok. It was named something different than what it is now. So that was my question for tonight is I've got about 12 videos on there where I've got some merch from that business. So I was thinking about deleting those 12. Um, but I don't know. Have you guys like bulk deleted before? And how has that affected the algorithm and all that?
Can I say something? I think you should redo them, if that makes sense.
I was
So
thinking
like,
of that.
write down what it's about, like just kind of notes or whatever, and
Mhm.
then remember where your mindset was or where your head was at when you were talking about that topic, and then do it over. Because I mean, think about Cam just as an example. every 8th video is going to have some similar things in it because that's like the core of his business, you know? So it's fine if somebody a year ago or whenever you had the different name sees it, you want to reiterate that information anyway. So
Okay.
if that helps.
Yes, thank you.
That's good. Anyone else have anything to add to this? Okay,
Keep rocking.
so what you got?
Nothing. I just say keep rocking because I have never posted on social media. I think I never will. I'm too introvert for that.
Yeah, same. I've seen a lot of stuff from Alex Hormozy lately, and other content creators talk about this, but they say the fastest way to grow your following is to put out 3 videos a day for 30 days, right? You do these sprints. And by doing these sprints, not only are you going to get a lot of feedback of testing out the algorithm to see what works, but it's also going to get you out of this imposter syndrome, and it's going to make you post good and bad stuff. Eventually, at some point, you're going to run out of ideas, right? I run out of ideas all the time. I'm like, I've made 4 or 5 or 10 videos about this thing, but this thing keeps coming up. And I'll force myself to put stuff out there. Not every video is going to be awesome. It's certainly not great. But over time, I see the videos that do the best, which ironically are the breakup ones. But the internet loves to talk about that. Somehow I have way more followers on TikTok than I do on Instagram. But different videos on Instagram have performed way better than some videos on TikTok, right? I use an app called Mojo. If someone wants to find a link and share it, if not, I can do it in a minute. But I use an app called Mojo to add subtitles and to take out pauses. So if I'm going to create a video, I'll just record it right in Mojo, and it takes me, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes to take out the pauses and add in captions that I can design. And then that video I can share right from Mojo to TikTok. We'll upload it to TikTok. Then I press the YouTube button, upload it to YouTube. And then I'll press the Instagram button, and then I'll upload that to Instagram. Instagram uploads, for whatever reason, take the longest amount of time. But TikTok and YouTube are both super, super fast. So I find that some videos do really good on YouTube and some not at all. Some have 1 view, some have 4 views, but the captions will always be slightly different on all 3. I won't use the same caption on all 3. And I think that it has more to do with the caption and the hashtags. Only post, 1 to 5 hashtags, because I want those core hashtags to be the principle of what it is that I'm talking about. Back in the day, you used to post 30 hashtags with every post, but I think editing your caption and then seeing which content does better on which platform is fine. But those are the 3 platforms that I test. And I will get really good solid comments on YouTube on videos that go viral. I get really good comments on Instagram too, but I don't check Instagram. I don't respond to comments. The only place that I will respond to some comments is primarily on TikTok. And maybe that helps increase engagement or increase views, but Instagram doesn't have a great way for you to respond to only comments. Whereas TikTok, it's much easier to just go to your activity, hit comments, and then spend 5 to 10 minutes, whatever, while you're walking or while you're at home scrolling, just responding to people, right? So think about that, because responding to comments does increase your engagement. And then after I post a video, I close the app and I typically won't check it for a couple hours, right? So that's a good way to do it, but get in the habit of posting more often. Even if you think it's dog shit, you can recycle content at a later point, right? Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any additional things about that or social media? Awesome. Let's go to the next couple questions. These are some good ones. What's something that surprised you about where your path ended up? Something you didn't plan for, but now you wouldn't trade. It's a good one. Who wants to take a stab? I'm gonna call on someone if you don't. Val, I'm calling on you about this one. Are you surprised about where you ended up? Would you trade it for anything else, or are you stoked that you're where you're at?
I I was afraid that you were gonna call me for that. Okay,
Yeah,
I
good
am
one.
surprised, but not in a bad way. I was asking for change. Um, and I'm still seeing it through, like the pieces of the puzzle. But I don't know, I just feel so much more in trust of everything and calm, and I don't feel like I'm resistant. I just have like open doors. So this feels very nice right now.
Good. Good. Would you trade it for anything else in terms of what you wanted and where you are now?
I don't really think about stuff like that. I think that I always just kind of trust that I'm where I'm supposed to be. And this is the best path for me, so I don't I don't think I would trade it for anything else.
Okay. Good. Christina, I'm gonna call on you as well. So what about your path and where you are now? Has that surprised you in any sort of way? And would you trade it for anything?
No, I
Ooh,
wouldn't.
me or the
Okay.
other one? Is there
Oh,
two
sorry.
Christinas?
Oh, we got
No, you go. You go.
we
I've
got
just
we got
popped in. You go, Christina.
yeah, I want it. Christina Estes, what you got? You go
Okay.
first, then we'll go to the doctor.
So honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like Val, I was asking for change. I knew that I needed things to be different. Like I was in a bleak space, if that makes sense. Like I was just going through the motions of life. And now, even all the things that have happened, it's been a long, hard road. And it's not easy by any means. And it's not something I wanted to happen or expected to happen. But like, I'm a completely different person. Like, I don't even resonate with my old life anymore. And even like things from my childhood that used to affect me. I it's weird to say, but like I feel like I only remember the good stuff. So it's really cool.
I like that. Other Christina, what you got?
Sorry, I'm late, you guys. So what is surprising about changing, and would I change it? Is that the
Mhm.
question?
Yep.
I feel like I've lived like 15 different lives in this lifetime. And no, I absolutely would not change it. I think that everything kind of leads you to the next thing, and challenges just help kind of build your story and build who you are as a person. Am I surprised? Yeah, I did not think I would be posting videos on TikTok. I'll tell you that. Um, but I do like it, and I'm surprised that I like it. I mean, I don't know. It's fun. And now I'm like, how do I get out of my corporate job? So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I like it. Yeah. I did not think I would ever be posting TikTok videos, but here we are. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good answers on that. Anybody else want to jump in?
I'll say
Okay.
something, just because, Christina, what you said really resonated. Um, well, actually, both Christinas, what you said. Um, I feel like I've lived two lifetimes already, and I'm on my third. I did not really see myself where I'm at, but I guess it's like it's what I wanted. I'm still building and growing and developing this sort of chapter. But I have kids, they're grown and they have their own lives, but I don't resonate at all with the person I used to be. And it's so strange, even when I talk to them, because I'm like, you're my son or you're my daughter, and it just seems like a whole other life that I had. It's very it's very surreal.
Oh yeah, I love it. I think having a bit of gratitude about where you are and understanding that the person that you are today is the person that you need to be for something that you're going to do in the future, and trusting that process is really important. I didn't think I'd be here. I definitely didn't think I would ever be in the military, right? But I'm like the least military dude I know in the military, but I like it. I love the people that I work with, and I never thought I would live in North Carolina. Like life took me a lot of different directions, but it's all about like when one door closes, you understand that you can't stay at that door and knock on that door and be like, I'm supposed to be in that room. I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to do this thing in there. I'm supposed to be with those people. Understanding that, okay, this door is closed. You have to walk away down the hallway. And it's when you decide to let go or turn away or shift directions that you go a different place. That's when a new door opens up, and paying attention to the doors that open up. That's how you follow your energy. That's how you take the path of least resistance in life. That's how you make sure that you're not learning the same lesson over and over and over again. That's a big thing that I see. I see a lot of people that aren't clients comment on my videos, and they're consistently commenting the same thing, telling themselves a story from the past, right? Well, this is why I'm like this now, because all of these things happened to me in the past, and this person did this to me, and this person did this to me. And it's like, okay, but walk away from that, rewrite your story. You can always recreate yourself, right? I put out a video today talking about one of my favorite books. It's called The 48 Laws of Power by Robert
I love
Greene.
that book.
A lot of people think, yeah, it's amazing. And a lot of people think it's about, oh, this book teaches you how to manipulate other people. It's like, no, these are historic principles throughout time that show you how other people operate and the dark tendencies that people have, and understanding the games of manipulation about how to retain your own energy or how to retain your own power. And I think everybody should read that book. I've read it like 4 or 5 times, and everyone should have that book at home because it's so profound the way that book unfolds. And if you can understand those principles, I think it's Law 39 or maybe 41, but there's a chapter on recreating yourself. And he takes people from history and shows you how these people recreate themselves. And it's fantastic. So add it to your list, which is a great book. Anyways, next question. What qualities do you notice in people that make you feel like, yeah, they get it? Whether in business, friendships, or life? It's a great question. I'd like to hear from the ladies. What are your yeah,
I think
yeah,
when
do you-
people start talking about real stuff or like emotions or things that are going on in the world or the universe or just deeper stuff. I mean, I've gotten to a point where like I can't even like be around people that it's just superficial. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know if you guys deal with that. Um,
Same.
but I just think real conversations and just things that actually matter and not like Real Housewives. I mean, I love trash TV sometimes, but there's more to life, you know?
Good. What are your green flags, right? When you see somebody and you're like, oh, we're gonna be friends. What's like a green flag for you?
Like emotional openness and just authenticity and being vulnerable,
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
think.
say
And
emotional intelligence.
Yeah. What's that, Alex? Emotional intelligence?
Yeah, like just echoing what Christina is saying. 'Cause I was thinking authenticity, emotional intelligence, maybe some empathy, vulnerability, like things that show a piece of their true self.
Mm-hmm.
I
I like
will
that a
add,
lot.
I really love when people laugh at themselves. Like when they do something and they
Humility.
call themselves out. I don't know, I just think like now I can mess around with you. And like we'll probably get along better. And vice versa. I like somebody that can take a joke. And I guess I'll just also add when I feel like they're being authentic, if they're not being performative to be liked or to say things that are irrelevant. They just kind of they say their truth. If you're into weird stuff, okay, you're into weird stuff. That's fine. So that's that.
Nice. Emil, what you got? What are your green flags for friends or people that you associate with, either coworkers or whatever, right? What's something that you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I love this person.
Authenticity, but sometimes people know dark stuff and dark psychology. They know how to influence people. So girls, careful out there. And because I have been manipulated by that too. I mean, when you're vulnerable with someone, sometimes people open up with you because they know that by them being vulnerable, you can be vulnerable with them. And sometimes that can fire back to you in a bad way, especially with relationships. So just careful. I mean, the mask always slips. I mean, at the end, you will always know they will call out themselves something in your gut. You're gonna know it at the end, like something's off, something. I mean, they're always gonna be red flags, but overall, I think energy most of the times never lies. But I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say energy. If you can feel someone's energy and you match that,
Wait, I just thought of one last thing. I'm sorry.
What you got? Don't be sorry.
Okay, the last thing is when their personality is consistent with different people. So whether it's like their manager or the person next to you, whoever it is, like they're not like shape shifting into, whoever they're talking to.
I love that. Shape shifting.
I think positivity is a big one and thoughtfulness. I think that's something that's overlooked a lot. Like historically, my birthday's never been a great one, and I just celebrated it this week. And I've known this girl, like these are girls at work in my company. They're like counterparts, and she invited me out to like a girls' night the other week. Timing was like great with all this stuff going on, and we were going to the Post Malone concert, and her and her friend from her hometown was visiting, and it was pouring rain and everything, and they jumped in the car whenever the Uber got there, and she had a cookie cake, and it said like "Happy Birthday, Alex," and I was like, that was just like I was not expecting that, and like it was such a small gesture, and something like that, just like, and just saying like, how you doing, or like checking in with somebody, I think it just goes so far. And it doesn't mean you have to check it. It's not like a responsibility. I think sometimes people put too much on that, but like a random check-in or things like that, just showing like thoughtfulness and just putting in just a little bit of effort. And forget the first thing I said before thoughtful. It's been a long day, but I think that just those little things and just engaging, so just like normal.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. Positivity is super, super important. The one thing I would like, yeah, the one thing I'll add to this is like, obviously I work with a small group of really elite guys, and the one thing that we are consistently tested on over and over and over again is our ability to align our words and our actions. Like, reputation for us is everything. So if you say you're going to do something, if you say you're going to be somewhere, the group of guys that I work with, they will tell you no if they can't do it, and they'll mean it. But if they say yes, they will follow through and do something, even if it's super, super shitty, right? One of my best friends, his name's Noah. And the other day I had to attend the Trump rally and I had to be there at like 9 a.m. He didn't speak till 5. And then he spoke for an hour and a half. So we're just baking in the sun. And it was a long day. And we had to be in the stands behind him to make him look super cool. Regardless of what you think about him, whatever, I had to be there for my job. But I couldn't get home for the dogs, right? Obviously, I have 2 German Shepherds and a 1-year-old that I let him out of his crate. So I texted my buddy Noah, who had the day off. I was like, "Hey man, can you do me a favor? Can you go swing by my house? He lives like 20 minutes away, and just take the dogs out for like 30 minutes in the middle of the day." I knew when I asked him, and he said, "Yep, that would get done, and I could rely on him." I love that, right? Acts of service, that's my love language, even in friendships. But knowing and having a small group of dudes or small group of girls, whoever it is, and having someone that will align their words and their actions, that is my number one quality that I adore in people. I always respect when someone says no because they think about it, but I really lose a lot of respect for people when they say they're going to do something and then their words and their actions don't align with that, right? It's fine. You can do that in business, you can do that in life, but that has fundamentally changed my life a lot by continuing not to trust people when they misalign their words and their actions in one time. All it takes is one time. And
Yeah.
I've cut friends off, right? And that's saved me time and energy. Yes, it's heartbreaking, but you have to let people go, especially when they show you who they are. Because if someone aligns their words and their actions and they don't follow through, you're not going to rely on that person as much, or you're going to distance yourself or adjust your expectations, which always benefits you at the end of the day, right? So think about that with your current group of friends or people that you work with. Can I really rely on this person? Does this person align their words and their actions? I think that will fundamentally help you a lot going
I think that has a
forward,
lot to do with authenticity too, though, because it's kind of
even
like,
in relationships too. That's a
I'm sorry, did you guys cut out for a second?
Yeah, I think it cut out for a
what do you
second.
mean?
Well, I was just saying that I think that that's kind of along the same lines of authenticity. So if you can't do something, I would respect you more if you would say, no, I can't do that, or no, I don't want to do that, versus going and not having a bad time, or you don't really want to be there, or you're not going to show up in the first place. Because to me, that's like, you're not really who you say you are. You're not really comfortable with either upsetting people or saying something that you think you need to say, like that bothers me. So like on the flip side, if you're true to yourself, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I tell my friends that too. I'm like, you may see less of me, but you'll get 100% of me when I'm there. You don't
Yes.
want 25% of me in all the time.
All
I'll
right.
be full divided attention sometimes.
That's a good one. Another good question. Okay. What do you think people misunderstand most about you or your work? I'm gonna pick on Lindsay if she's still here. Lindsay, what you got? I want to hear
Yes,
from
I'm
you.
here. What do I think I am most like misunderstood about? What people misunderstand about me?
Yeah.
I think when I'm quiet, people definitely usually perceive me in a way that I'm not, just because I'm quiet, and then people usually assume, but that's what always happens, right? Like your perception gets assumed when you're quiet because people don't know what to take from it. So maybe that. Um, I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's a good question. Alex,
I don't really
what
care.
do you what do you think people misunderstand about you or your work?
Um,
Skip.
well, I will say I've typically gotten the stereotypical like dumb blonde, and I'm actually a fucking badass, and I do really well in my job, and I'm super successful, and like I worked really hard to get here, so like I showed up and it paid off. So things like that. I tend to get in my head a lot, so I will be quiet as well. Like I internalize a ton of stuff, so same sort of thing. It's like I'm very quiet and people will think something's wrong, and like nothing's wrong. I'm just very like I observe, I just take a lot in. That's just who I am and as a person and how I was built, just because of my life story. Um, so I get that often, and it's something that I always try to work on, but it's something that to be honest, people, I always would get like, I thought you were a bitch when I met you, and then I got to know you like just for a second, and you're super fun and super cool and super chill, and I'm like, yeah, I know. So
that
I
too.
don't know, like I get it all the time. They're like, yeah, I thought you were literally, they were like, I thought you were such a bitch. I'm like, okay. So I kind of
Nice.
put all those together and pretty much the same thing. I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Miranda. Go ahead. Sorry. Who was that? I missed it.
Yeah, I wanted to add something. I also
Yeah.
think that silence, I'm learning, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that, we're shy. I think silence is power, and I think that I have been used to oversharing, so now I think I enjoy like taking a seat back to like listen. And I think also it's not really our business what people like misunderstand about us, because if we really know who we are, like it's not gonna sway us one way whether someone says, the worst thing about us or compliments us if we have like a strong sense of self.
Yeah, I think there is a big difference between being shy and being reserved. I think a lot of people just automatically think, oh, they're shy and all the things that come with that. But yeah, there's definitely more power in being reserved and confident and knowing when to speak or not, especially around people, like you said, that you don't really know. So,
Agreed.
I'm actually leaving. I'm on my way back home to Orlando from Tampa because I went down there for um, essentially like a networking thing. We have different organizations in my company, Striker. So I'm part of one that's for women's leadership. And we had a panel and they flew in, there was an RM from my division, the vice president of HR for instruments. So like that was a huge one. And this was a group of like 20 people in a room. And then someone high up in management, I think in L&D or something. And so we literally just had a question about speaking up, or like, it's about women empowerment and women, supporting women in leadership and all of this stuff. And there are a handful of men, like we really like men to join this conversation in this organization or group as well. And they all had some really good stuff to say, and it's just like it's that imposter syndrome stuff, because like even if you do think that you need to be quiet and just like, or like reserved or quiet, whichever you want to go with, speaking up is not bad. Speaking up is not dominating. Speaking up is being confident, and it was based within a place of insecurities is what it came down to from the three women on the panel. And like how they gotten over those things and over those fears, and how they got into leadership, and how they faced these hurdles and grew in their career. But it really came down to just like not thinking, your question's dumb, saying something, speaking up, not feeling like you need to be reserved. So just kind of like devil's advocate take on this.
I mean, I think there's a time and a place for both. So sometimes, like, the loudest person in the room or the person that talks the most isn't necessarily the one that knows the most. So I guess where I'm coming from is just because someone comes off as shy doesn't mean they're shy. Maybe they're reserved. Sometimes the quiet people are the more confident people, but it's like you said, it's also knowing when to speak up and how to speak up. So maybe there's just, I guess, differences there. Maybe
Yeah,
depending
and we
on
also
the
spoke
situation. I
about
don't know.
quiet. Well, we also spoke about like quiet leadership, because the president of our company is one of those guys, like you would never know that he was a man of like the power that he is in that role. And he is the most quiet, just gentle person, but like the way he responds to things is not loud, is not dominant. And there was actually a book, and I'll try to get the name of this book, Cam, because they were saying that it was such a game changer in this type of conversation. So yeah, I agree. Like there's, you know, two sides to the coin, but it's interesting conversation in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Good question. Sorry, it's getting dark outside, so going back to the office. All right. Last question here. Well, that was a good question, but we got a couple more. Ooh, this is a good one. How do I honor a feeling or emotion without acting on it? Who wants to take that one?
What kind of feeling or emotion? Like, what is it in reference to?
It just anything, anger, whether it's hesitation, jealousy, imposter syndrome. How do you honor a feeling without acting on it?
Acknowledge it.
Sorry,
No.
go. Fuzzy.
I just said acknowledge it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How so? I know for a fact I've taught most of you guys the emotional guidance scale. So don't make me repeat myself, but someone save this. How do you honor an emotion without acting on it?
Think about energy and motion. So you move it through your body.
Okay.
You walk it out, you yoga it out, you, I don't know, swim it out, write it out, just put it into action through whatever your choice is.
All right. I will just show you guys this one more
Right,
time.
that was my question.
I was gonna say you were acknowledging it as first, and Cam will show you the spiral, but knowing where you're at and what level you have to get to,
You
and
sit with
what
it.
and what it needs to take to get to each of those levels.
Yeah.
I used to have it as my background on my phone because I did not know how to not react to an emotion or just tell you how it was. And you could see my emotions from a mile away. But that that little scale is really eye-opening and can be a gut punch because you're gonna realize, like, wait, I have to do what? And I'm all the way down the scale.
Yeah. So real quick, 2-minute overview. You don't have this. I'll share the link in a second, but this is one of the best things ever. I will say authenticity belongs at the very top right here. But this emotional guidance scale, this is the downward spiral, this is the upward spiral. You are creating and you are attracting things here. When you are in the downward spiral, you are losing energy. You are bleeding energy. And it's very hard to create when you're in this downward spiral. If you ever have fear, grief, depression, powerlessness, victimhood, right? You're bleeding energy. This is the lowest form of emotion. We've all been here, but at some point we choose not to be a victim, right? We get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then in order to honor, witness, and change the emotion, you have to answer the 5 W's. Who, what, when, why, where, how. If you can answer these 5 questions about why you feel the way that you feel wherever you normally operate at or wherever you are today, that's fine. But how we work ourselves up and down this scale is by processing this emotion, by answering the 5 W's. Then we can move on to insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. Who am I feeling insecure about? Where in my life am I feeling insecure? Why am I feeling insecure? How am I feeling insecure? Right? When am I feeling insecure? If you can take 5 minutes to journal this stuff down, to just write these down or sit with it, meditate on it, you can process this emotion. The average lifespan of an emotion is 90 seconds. Most people let their emotions affect their reactions and their actions on a daily basis, which is why we never really process these emotions. If you were able to sit with this emotion of 90 seconds, I guarantee you 80 to 90% of it would pass. But whether you operate up here or up here, you're a human being, so you're going to experience the primary emotions, which are all of these. You obviously want to get to joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation, but you fall down the scale rather quickly and it takes more time to climb up the scale. Think about a ladder. You can fall down really quick. The biggest thing that I see people do over the past couple of years, especially getting out of relationships, is they let other people carry them up this scale. And then when that relationship breaks off, they fall down the scale. Okay. Answer the 5 W's, figure out where you normally operate on a given daily basis, my lowest emotion is I'm usually mostly overwhelmed, right? But I also have a lot of enthusiasm. So I pretty much operate on a daily basis between being overwhelmed and enthusiastic. Majority of the time, this is the lowest one, right? I'll experience this for brief periods, pessimism for brief periods, boredom for brief periods, but normally I'm usually between a 3 and a 7, right? If I fall, it's ever here. Very rarely do I operate here, but of course, there's been times in my life where I've operated here as well. Answer the 5 W's, work your way back to authenticity so that you can feel these things more often than you feel these things. Does that make sense? All right. I'll share this link with you guys if you have additional questions on it. That's how I truly believe you honor and witness and protect your emotions. Anyone got any questions about that? Anything to add? Taylor, you added some good stuff. You got anything else?
No, I think you explained it, but I think you have practice.
Yeah, I will tell so many people about this, and if you want to learn more about this, I'll go over this one-on-one with you in further detail. Just ask me about it because I love talking about it.
Oh, I love that. I've never seen that. I saw it on your page, but I do the stop sign method like Tony Robbins. I let myself feel it for 90 seconds, like you said. And then I reroute the emotion if it's a negative one. But I
Good.
love that scale. I'm excited to look at it.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so a couple more questions we'll power through, but how do you consistently show up for yourself when your subconscious is programmed to abandon yourself?
Discipline.
Practice. If you're not used to showing up for yourself, put post-its on your mirror, put reminders in your calendar.
Mhm.
Remember to,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I thought meditation was crap. I thought the manifestation was crap. I told him it's a bunch of hippie-ish and just totally anti it. And the more and more I deep dove into everything, with him and understanding how the brain works, just like what you put in your body is what you become. So if you're gonna eat a bunch of sugar and crap, you're gonna look like crap. Though what you put into your mind, whether it's positive or negative or indifferent, you're gonna think that way. So nobody else is going to be able to tell you that you're amazing. Like you're going to hear that from people, but if you're still telling yourself, yeah, they don't really mean that, you're never going to feel amazing. So you need to tell yourself and be your biggest advocate and your biggest fan. And
you
if
have
that
to
means
speak
sitting in
it
front
out
of me,
loud.
yeah.
What,
So that, what app was it? I have it on my phone. I listen to it in the morning. It's a little orange one. Is it Think Up or something? That one,
Yep.
I've pre-recorded myself, and hearing myself say, my little mantras each morning, does put me in a good mood. And when I do run into those issues, like emotions there's times in the day I don't have time to deal with the emotion right then. I literally will schedule it for, hey, tonight when I'm at home at 6 p.m., I can deal with all my emotions then and like go through them. Because sometimes, like, I just left a property because the AC was not on and the heater was, and the property was 102. I didn't have time to be upset in that moment with the guests. But so I'm like, okay, well, tonight when I'm decompressing and going over my day, I can sit there and be angry at the guy who screwed everything up today. But it's just you have to remind yourself how amazing you are because nobody else will.
Could not agree more. That's awesome.
Can I
Yeah.
also add to that?
Shoot.
What you speak as well. Like what you speak, even if it's like negative or positive, I feel like that has a lot of power. So watch what you say about yourself as well.
Mhm.
It's actually not even what you're saying about yourself, it's what you say about anyone, because your brain doesn't recognize that you're not talking about yourself. So if you're gossiping or in a negative mindset, all it hears is that you want to see more of that negative. So you have to project, my life is great, I have everything I need, I'm in the best relationship, so that you can meet yourself there, so you can level up.
I have two things to add to this. So one thing is I don't know where I saw this, but someone was talking about like manifesting and like when you have those negative thoughts and things like that, you're actually manifesting those negative things to happen. So you like that quickly turned my thoughts because I'm like, I can't think that because that's literally manifest. Like that's putting that out there. And that was a flip of a switch for me personally, but also just showing up for yourself, and like it's all coming back down to your like your self-love and like how you look at yourself and everything. So another thing that the same person had said was like anytime you see a mirror, you say it to yourself, like whatever, I am confident, I am worthy, I have beautiful flawless skin, whatever it is, because that's like the portal to your higher timeline and like your best self. So like anytime you look at yourself in the mirror, you take a second and appreciate it, and like anything, and you look at that reflection and talk to that person as if it's that person that you've always wanted to be. Which also I don't know what was said earlier, but my favorite quote ever, and I feel like this resonates, is it's never too late to become the person you've always wanted to be. And it's my favorite quote ever, and I have it on my wall, and I think it's just something that everyone should kind of like keep around because you can always do this work.
Completely agree. Yeah. Think Up is the #1 tool that I give to every client. I tell you guys to write your affirmations, write your goals, and gaslight the fuck out of yourself, right? If you can create the future and identify a future recorded memory that you want to have and train yourself to have the feelings and emotions of that future, even if you take 5 to 10 minutes a day to visualize or to feel those emotions, you're bringing that thing closer. You're reverse engineering, right? That's what manifesting is. It's reverse engineering a future recorded memory that you have consistently over time. That's how you create your future. That's how you get what you want, right? It's a process that I like to work with people on over a series of time, but it doesn't matter if you want to build a business or get out of a relationship or meet the next relationship or do whatever, right? It's a process that I've seen too many people use to great success. So don't give up on Think Up. They should start paying me to rep that. Whatever. Last questions here. So I got to jump in 7 minutes, but how do I create a lifestyle balance of business, personal, and do the internal work as well as everything else in between without feeling consumed? Right? Christina V. Or anybody.
There you can go. I'll go next.
No, I mean, I'm literally going to say this super quick because I had a one-on-one with my manager this morning, and I told her, I was like, just going to tell you right now, I don't really have anything done. I haven't been working too much. I'm performing, not working too much because I've taken like a mental health break this past month. I've been working on myself. And I've always said to all my teammates new people, when they ask for advice, I say, I know it's tough the first year, but you're going to burn yourself out. And what I wish I knew then is put the gym first, like get home early from the field and go to the gym, go on a walk, do whatever you want to do. If you want to go shopping in between or do whatever makes you happy, because the happier you are, the better rep you're going to be, the more successful you're going to be, the better friend you're going to be and whatnot. So I just had that moment this morning. That was the only thing I wanted to chime in.
Oh yeah.
I definitely echo that. I think if you don't show up for yourself, you can't show up for anybody else, or you're going to give in a way that isn't helpful for your job, for your relationships, for your career, for anything. Like I haven't walked today, and I'm sorry guys, I'm on a walk while I'm doing this. I'm like, I have to. So I'm doing 2 in 1. But I think that's a great example. I was working all day. But I think like whatever makes you happy, it doesn't have to be, what everyone thinks you should do. I mean, and also you shouldn't shame yourself if you don't make it to work out one day or you don't make it to the gym, as long as you do something else that makes you happy. I think sometimes we are too like, if we don't do this every single day, we like hate ourselves, and then it manifests into feeling bad about ourselves, and then we have a bad day, and then so on and so forth. So I think just giving ourselves a little bit of grace too, in that. That's really all I had to say on that.
Balance.
You got.
I'm gonna forget those 3 things that you always say: boundaries, protocols. Is it non-negotiables?
Correct.
Yes, I finally got it. Okay. I knew it started with an N, but but don't desert your non-negotiables and don't desert your protocols. The boundaries should, I mean, for me, it came over time to define those and stick by them. But knowing what your non-negotiables are to yourself, because if you let yourself down, you're gonna let everybody else down. I think somebody said that. But if you can't keep your own promises, then honestly, like to yourself, you're not gonna be able to keep a promise to anybody else, and you're not gonna make anybody else hold their promises to you. So and honestly, if you're building a business, there is no life work balance until you hit the pinnacle of being able to maintain it without having to pour every blood, sweat, and tear into it. It's like a newborn baby. You have to nurture it and side by side it until it is fully running. I'm going on my 4th business being started and another project coming up. But the amount of hours and stuff that I've poured in at the beginning of this year, within 4 months, I had the business fully running and we're cash positive in an industry that's insane in. But it's now I can find the balance because I've got people in the right place, trained, all that stuff. But as long as you have your protocols, your boundaries, and your non-negotiables, those non-negotiables, like they are on my calendar that's by my bed. They're on my mirror in my bathroom, and they're also in my car in a post note. So then I remember, oh yeah, I won't not go to the gym. I won't not read, and I won't not take time to read the Bible or talk to my grandma once a week. Like those are things I have to do, because the second I stop doing them and get too busy, everything else seems to spiral. My stress goes through the roof, and then I feel like I'm completely out of place. But those 4 things, if I can do them all the time, of course, like, shower, brush your teeth, that should be a given. But if I don't have those 4, I'll be lost and not a fun person to be around. But everybody's different. Like, so I don't know if everybody sits there and calls their grandma once a week and lets her talk for 45 minutes. But it's really up to you and defining what makes you happy or what makes you feel you.
Fuck yeah. I cannot agree more. We didn't get to one question, but I gotta jump in 2 minutes. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for hopping in. You can always join these group calls. I'll do my best to post the links before, but if you RSVP to the next one or ahead of time, we'll get to your questions first because they'll get filtered up to the top. If anybody mentioned anything that they do not want to go on YouTube or be shared with the group, I won't post this. Just send me a quick WhatsApp. If that's you, not a problem, totally okay. Otherwise, I'd like to share these with the rest of the group and put them on YouTube because people can watch them or go back to them. I know some people do like to watch your group calls or listen in. You don't have to join the whole time. You come in for 15 minutes, you can listen in, you can stay silent, but I want you guys to connect with each other, right? If you're working on a business or working on getting out of a relationship or want to share your business, that's what the Discord is for, right? Engage, share, talk with each other, network, help each other out, and connect offline, because this is the community that we're building. You guys are part of it forever. You can always come back, and make sure to leverage the back end of the website. If you don't have a login to the back of the website, let me know. If you haven't created your account, please let me know and send me a message so I can make sure that you're on there, because I will be sending emails to clients that are part of that community. And yeah, just want to say thank you, and I'll see all of you guys very soon. Okay.
See you Monday.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thanks.
Have a nice evening.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.